If you clicked on this video hoping for some quintessentially Cotswold villages, we've got you covered.
In our opinion, these are the 5 prettiest villages in the Cotswolds.
The Cotswolds is a designated area of outstanding natural beauty and covers almost 800 square miles over 5 English counties. It's renowned for its quintessentially English villages with their beautiful historic buildings constructed from the signature honey-coloured stone which provides the unmistakable glow to these picture-perfect locations. Welcome to the iconic Cotswold village of Castlecoon. The picture-perfect village of Castlecoon takes its name from the 12th century castle which once stood nearby. The first mention of the settlement was in the Domesday Book of 1086, so it's pretty old, and not much has changed in hundreds of years as there have been no new builds in the village since the 1600s. The 14th century Market Cross, a scheduled monument, marks the site of the historic marketplace and is a focal point in the village. It's also surrounded by some great cafes and pubs. We enjoyed a really nice lunch at the Castle Inn. Undoubtedly though, the main draw in the village is the bridge over Bybre and the historic cottages that run alongside. It's very popular with tourists from all over the world looking for that perfect Instagram shot. Do make sure you take time to visit the giant Sequoia tree in the grounds of the old manor house, which is now a sumptuous hotel, where you can also enjoy afternoon tea. Next up, this enormous giant Sequoia tree.
Now, when we googled things to do in Castlecoon, this came up and there was a review written by a chap and he said it was a nice big tree. Let's go and check it out.
We can confirm.
It is a nice big tree.
St Andrew's Church houses a pretty unique clock from the 15th century and an exhibition on the movie War Horse, which was filmed in the village. Would Castlecoon make it onto your list of Britain's prettiest villages? Well, as you can see, Castlecoon is a truly beautiful village.
And that's why it is always featured as one of Britain's prettiest villages, but it does mean that it can get busy.
It sure can. So we have 3 pieces of advice. Firstly, if you can, come during the week.
And second of all, come early in the day while the other tourists are in bed if you can.
And also, perhaps later in the season, maybe late summer, early autumn would be a beautiful time to come. They call it the Venice of the Cotswolds.
Welcome to Bourton-on-the-Water. Bourton-on-the-Water gets its name from the 5 bridges that cross the crystal clear river running through the village. All of these beautiful bridges are hundreds of years old, the oldest dating back to 1654. The river is home to some very friendly and well-fed ducks. Your 4-legged friend can even have a paddle. Oh, brave boy! Strolling along the path beside the river is a wonderful way to soak up the atmosphere. It's also a great way to choose which of the ice cream parlours, cafes, restaurants or pubs to visit. Well, we have been wandering around Bourton-on-the-Water for a little while and it is beautiful.
It's stunning, and the whole sort of main street is arranged along the beautiful crystal clear shallow flowing river, and there are loads of lovely looking eateries,
ice cream shops.
We said the same thing.
Yes, we do.
You know what that means, don't you?
Ice cream.
We're going to have to get an ice cream now.
The green on the other side of the river is the perfect place for a picnic under the trees.
After a nice little stroll, we have ourselves some lunch. We have a brie and chutney sandwich, and it looks and smells delicious. From Bakery on the Water. There are so many places that you can eat, but we decided to grab a sandwich and sit alongside the river and enjoy it.
A must-visit attraction is the nostalgic Cotswold Motor Museum with its fabulous collection of classic cars and memorabilia. It's also dog-friendly, which is a big bonus.
We're having a fantastic time in this motor museum. There's also a toy collection, which we're about to see. But if you're in Bourton-on-the-Water and you have a dog, this is dog-friendly, so it's a fantastic place to come. And it's an immense collection. So many cars and artefacts and memorabilia. Amazing.
The model village should be on your list too. Completed between 1936 and 1940, the model village itself is Grade 2 listed and was one of the first to be built in England. It actually contains its own, even smaller, model village of Bourton-on-the-Water. Another attraction to round out your time in Bourton-on-the-Water is Birdland Park and Gardens, especially great for families. Sadly, we didn't get to visit, but it looks like a lot of fun. Welcome to the sleepily serene Lower Slaughter.
It's a stunning little village, so super peaceful, with a crystal clear stream running right through the middle. A 30-minute walk from Bourton along a public bridleway brings you to the beautifully picturesque Lower Slaughter, which you'll find is much quieter and less busy than Bourton. Strolling through Lower Slaughter is a little like stepping straight into an oil painting. The name of the village may not seem quite so pretty, but it derives from the Old English term for wetland. Most of the beautiful Butterstone cottages built around the charming River Eye date back to the 16th, 17th and 18th centuries. At the old mill, you can enjoy stepping back in time at the museum and even polish off your visit with an organic ice cream. The village is also home to the Parish Church of St Mary and two very nice hotels with restaurants for that added touch of luxury, the Manor House and the Slaughters Country Inn. Welcome to perfectly picturesque Painswick, known as Queen of the Cotswolds.
We're standing in the churchyard of St Mary's Church, which is famous for the 99 yew trees that were planted here in the 1700s. The parish church of Painswick, St Mary's, casts an imposing presence. It's pretty old too, with the oldest parts thought to date back to 1377. The yew trees are extremely well looked after and manicured and have an Alice in Wonderland feel to them. Legend has it that every time a 100th tree is planted in the churchyard, it dies. Just outside the churchyard, you can see the old stocks used to punish townspeople who had committed minor crimes. During medieval times, Painswick made its money through weaving cloth, and many of the houses were built to maximise natural light for the weavers. In Bisley Street, look out for two original 14th century doors, built wide enough for the donkeys carrying wool from the mills nearby. Frivolous, fantastical, fanciful and flamboyant, this is Painswick's Rococo Gardens. Laid out in the 1740s, it is the country's only surviving garden in the Rococo style. It was renovated in the 1980s and bonus, dog friendly. If historical gardens are your thing, then you must visit the Rococo Garden tucked away in a 6-acre valley. Rococo is an art style that was fashionable in Europe during the 1700s, characterised by asymmetry, ornamental decoration and pastel colours. The garden has many charming, colourful follies, wildflowers, ponds, beautiful vistas, winding paths and a fun maze.
Bathing in cold water was an important part of 18th century health regime, and this plunge pool is a constant 12 degrees. It's spring fed and visitors are welcome to dip their toes in at their own risk. But I'm not gonna, because it's cold. Whew, that is chilly. I think jumping in there would almost take your breath away.
Our favourite part of the garden was this Gothic alcove, complete with some historic graffiti by American GIs who were stationed in the park during World War II. There is also a cafe, serving snacks and light lunches, and a shop on site. The garden is a truly beautiful and tranquil space, perfect for a picnic. It's easy to spend hours exploring the many different areas and all the different follies. It's hard to imagine that it became overgrown and forgotten for so long.
Welcome to beautiful Bybre,
Home of the world-renowned Arlington Row.
Arlington Row is one of the most photographed places in the Cotswolds, and it's so easy to see why. Built in the 14th century as a wool store, it was converted into weavers' cottages in the 17th century. The properties are Grade 1 listed and are now owned by the National Trust. You can actually book through the National Trust to stay in one of them. Fun fact, it's been used in films such as Stardust and Bridget Jones's Diary, and if you still have a UK passport issued between 2010 and 2015, you'll find an image of Arlington Row on the inside front cover.
Arlington Row is probably one of the most iconic images of the Cotswolds, so it is always busy. We came towards the end of the day and it was a little bit quieter, and we just had to wait for that perfect opportunity with no one in the shop.
A visit to Bybre Trout Farm would be a great way to spend a few hours. Unfortunately, they were about to close for the day when we arrived. It's a working trout farm but welcomes visitors. You can even have a go at catching trout yourself. They have a small cafe and a gift shop, and it's a great place to bring a picnic or use one of their brick-built barbecues. Well, we hope you've enjoyed that little tour around the prettiest villages in the Cotswolds.
If you think we've missed a must-see, please leave a comment for us and for our other viewers so that we can go and check it out another time.
Meanwhile, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.